This is Empowered Magazine Investigates. I'm your host, Anelia Sutton. Let's begin.
Richard Branson advocated for Marcellus Williams, an innocent man who is scheduled for state execution. Richard placed a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star, urging Missouri Governor Mike Parson to halt the execution of an innocent man. Here is the current process to stop a state execution in the U.S. Stopping a state execution in the United States involves several legal avenues and processes, which can vary by state. Here are the primary methods. 1. Appeals process. Direct appeal. After a death sentence is imposed, the convicted individual can file a direct appeal to a higher court. This appeal typically challenges the legality of the trial and sentencing process. Post-conviction relief. If the direct appeal fails, the individual may seek post-conviction relief, which can include claims of ineffective assistance of counsel, new evidence, or constitutional violations. 2. Clemency petition. Individuals on death row can request clemency from the state governor or a clemency board. This process allows for a review of the case, and the governor has the discretion to grant a reprieve or commute the death sentence. 3. Stay of execution. A stay of execution can be requested through the courts. This is a legal order that temporarily halts the execution, allowing time for further legal proceedings or appeals to be considered. 4. Public advocacy and legislative action. Public campaigns and advocacy can influence state officials. Lawmakers may introduce bills or resolutions to halt specific executions or to reform capital punishment laws. In some states, bipartisan support has been shown to effectively delay or stop executions. 5. Federal intervention. In certain cases, federal courts may intervene if there are substantial constitutional issues at play. A federal district court can issue a stay of execution if it finds that the state's actions violate federal law or constitutional rights. 6. Media and public pressure. Raising awareness through media coverage can create public pressure on state officials to reconsider an execution. High-profile cases often attract significant media attention, which can lead to calls for intervention. Each of these methods requires careful navigation of the legal system and often involves collaboration with legal experts, advocacy groups, and public support to be effective. Here is Anelia's reply to Richard's post. Thank you, Richard, for shining a light on this critical issue. The justice system is indeed broken and deeply flawed due to systemic discriminatory practices. While I appreciate your advocacy, we must recognize that real change is essential to save Marcellus and others like him. It is unacceptable for innocent lives to depend solely on one individual, whether it be a governor or anyone else, especially given the potential for human error and bias. I have developed a 7-point plan that will eradicate corruption and effectively end injustice within a year. To truly save Marcellus, we need to implement these solutions urgently. Without action, he and countless others will continue to suffer needlessly. For more details on my plan, please visit aneliasutton.com/now. Let's work together to create a fairer system for all. In a famous quote by Frederick Douglass, he wrote, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will." Find out what any people will quietly submit to, and you have found the exact measure of injustice and wrong that will be imposed upon them, and these will continue until they are resisted with words or blows or both. An arbiter is a person who has the authority to settle disputes based on the rules of law and equity. But if the arbiter is biased, it defeats the purpose. Here's a powerful speech about this issue. While the show is fictional, this scene presents a reality for many people in our society today.
As an arbiter of the law with whole knowledge of historical jurisprudence in this country, race must always be considered a variable.
You have precious time, Miss Keating. I suggest that you don't waste it by making arguments you've already made.
These are not my words, Justice Strickland. They're yours. You wrote them in your 1985 ruling in Bryant v. Topeka, an equal protection case dealing with a state housing lottery program. Racism is built into the DNA of America. And as long as we turn a blind eye to the pain of those suffering under its oppression, we will never escape those origins. The only safeguard people of color have is the right to a defense, and we won't even give them that. Which means that the promise of civil rights has never been fulfilled. Due to the failure of our justice system, our public defense system in particular, Jim Crow is alive and kicking. Laws that made it illegal for blacks and whites to be buried in the same cemetery. They categorize people into quadroons and octoroons. They punish a black person for seeking medical attention in a white hospital. Some may claim that slavery has ended, but tell that to the inmates who are kept in cages and told that they don't have any rights at all. People like my client Nathaniel Leahy and millions of people like him who are relegated to a subclass of human existence in our prisons. There is no alternative to justice in this case. There is no other option. To decide against my plaintiff is to choose lining the pockets of prison owners over providing basic defense for the people who live in them. And is that the America that this court really wants to live in? Where money is more important than humanity? Where criminality is confused with mental health? The Sixth Amendment was ratified in 1791. It's been 226 years since then. Let's finally guarantee its rights to all of our citizens.
The right to a fair trial, as enshrined in the Sixth Amendment, is long overdue for meaningful enforcement. In the landmark case of Gideon v. Wainwright, 1963, the Supreme Court unanimously affirmed that the right to counsel is fundamental to a fair trial and extends to the states through the 14th Amendment's Due Process Clause. This ruling mandates that states must provide legal representation for indigent defendants in criminal proceedings, ensuring that anyone unable to afford an attorney has access to justice. As a direct result of Gideon v. Wainwright, over 2,000 individuals were released from prison, and the Legal Aid Society was established to support those in need of legal representation. Today, the statistics are staggering. 2.3 million people are incarcerated, 6.8 million are on parole, and approximately 70 million have a criminal record. Anelia would argue that 90% of these cases stem from systemic discriminatory practices. However, it doesn't have to remain this way. We possess the tools necessary to dismantle systemic discrimination. All we require is the courage to take action. Let us advocate for a justice system that truly reflects equality and fairness for all. We will continue to monitor this developing story and provide updates as more information becomes available.
Dear viewers and subscribers, you know as well as we do that the American justice system is damaged beyond repair and rotten to the core with corrupt cops, corrupt private attorneys, corrupt public defenders, corrupt prosecutors, corrupt judges, corrupt politicians who lie to get into office and lie to stay in office. And let's not forget about the countless government officials who are corrupt and serve no one but their own interests. All of these groups of officials have one thing in common, which is that they fail to serve and protect the very people they are supposed to serve and protect, because the entire system is corrupt from the top. That begins with the Department of Justice. That's why Anelia has dedicated herself to restoring justice by publishing daily content on social media. She is a passionate advocate for social justice and legal empowerment, who began her journey into legal research as a legal abuse survivor. Anelia is doing the work to get rid of an unfair and unjust system, but she can't do it alone. She needs your support now. You can support this important work by simply hitting the follow button. Remember, the people you choose to follow on social media is who you amplify. So follow Anelia Sutton on this platform and across all social media platforms to amplify her mission for justice reform. Next, you can support Anelia by giving a contribution for her justice reform initiatives on aneliasutton.com/now. Your contribution, as little as $8, is critical to restore accountability, transparency, and justice for all back into the justice system. All right, let's get the engagement going here. Do all of the button things, so hit the like button, share this video, and comment #Anelia Sutton. Stay tuned for more updates, and I'll see you in the next video. Check the video description box for all of Anelia's social media links and more helpful links mentioned in this video. Remember, knowledge is power. Unity is power. So stand together with Anelia for justice. United we stand, united we win. Thank you for watching, and thank you for all of your support.
I believe that legal education and personal finance are two sides of the same coin, because corrupt officials target people who don't know their rights and are struggling financially. But with the right financial tool, you can protect yourself by building your personal credit, and that's where the Self card comes in. It's not just a secure credit card, but a powerful shield of protection and a symbol of empowerment. Don't let financial struggles allow corrupt officials to put a target on your back. Take control of your personal finances now. Build credit, build dreams. Get the Self card today on aneliasutton.com/self. You can also find a link in the video description box. This video is sponsored by Mission Possible University, a school I founded with courses dedicated to equal access to justice and closing the wealth gap. Join more than 4,000 students and over 20,000 alumni in the pursuit of brave ideas on missionpossibleuniversity.com. Please remember to hit the like, share, subscribe, and the bell notification.